And here it is, this wireless CarPlay. And then to navigate through all the apps, you could use your swiping motion to go to set different pages. What's up guys, it's Eric from B-Side. Today we have here a Toyota Highlander. We're gonna install our S-Connect CarPlay Android Auto retrofit kit. It's a plug and play install. It's pretty easy. I'm gonna walk you through it, and I'm also gonna show you a little demonstration how it works. And this is our new hardware that we're starting to ship out right now. So some things have changed, like for example, going inside your CarPlay Android Auto mode. Before it was a double press on the power button. Now we went ahead and switched it to a long press on the hang up button. We found out that that's a bit more easier to use than trying to time that double press. And we also have incorporated a wireless feature for both CarPlay and Android Auto. So it makes your operation a bit easier. We just get in your car, it connects by itself. You just long press that hang up button and it'll switch over to your CarPlay Android Auto screen. All right, let's not waste your time. Get inside the vehicle and show you how it's installed. All right guys, before we get started, tools you need is a panel removal tool such like this, and also a 10mm socket with a little bit of an extension. You could use a ratchet as well. I'm gonna use a power tool. And the first step we want to do is grab your panel removal tool, and we're going to remove this big piece over here. Just put it back here, and you're going to just pull it towards you. Okay, like so. And then once you get a little release, just go ahead and just pull this back and work your way all the way to the left. This area here might get a bit stuck on the corner. So when it does, just grab your panel removal tool once again, just tuck it in here, and then you're going to pry it out. All right, like so. And once you have this out, you're done using the panel removal tool. Look behind here, and there's gonna be a little tab here that's holding this in place. Just push this down, and then you could just release it very easily, like so. And you're gonna remove this connector. Always press down on the release tab on the connector and pull out straight. Never pull on the wires. And we're gonna go ahead and set this aside. And next, we're gonna remove this little trim piece right here. Okay, just stick your finger down here and just pull it towards you. All right, and then just slowly work your way all the way to the top. All right, we're gonna remove these two AC vents. When you remove these, just be careful, because when you're pulling really hard, you might actually hit your hand onto something. So just be very careful that you don't hurt yourself doing this. So we're gonna release the tab from the bottom, and then we're gonna pull it out. Okay, and this exposes our 4 10mm bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go ahead and remove it. Okay, once you remove this, go ahead and set it aside into your cup holder so you don't lose it. And before we pull it out, we'll grab a thick blanket, old sweater, a towel, anything will work just to protect the interior of the vehicle. Place 2 hands back here. Gonna use this as leverage on our thumb and then pop it towards you. All right. So this model is the Highlander without JBL. Because it doesn't have JBL, you have a lot more room behind here. The one with JBL is occupied by another speaker on the dash, and it's limited to how much space you have. So if you have the model without JBL, such as this, you can tuck your boxes under here, okay? Between the top dash, and then also, I believe this is your vent, your air vent channel. Whereas if you have the JBL, you're gonna have to mount your boxes down here, okay? So how you do that is you're gonna route your cables down here. There's a channel that goes all the way down. You're gonna grab it here, you're gonna pull this out, and there's gonna be an open cavity where you could place both of your boxes down below. All right, so once again, this car does not have JBL, so it's a bit more easier to install. So let me show you how it's done. Grab our plug and play wiring harness. Okay, there's going to be 3 connectors that we're going to be working on. All right, so these are the 3 connectors that we're going to be working on. This one, and that one. So this one, and this one. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug all those like this, and then like that. Okay, and we're going to grab our harness, and we are going to daisy chain it together. So the male connector from the car connects to the female connector over a harness, and the male side will connect to the radio. And we'll do the same for these 2. While you're doing this, try to not tangle your cables up, because you want to keep them as untangled as possible. So yeah, try not tangling them up or crossing the wires as much as possible. All right, so all the connections to the radio is complete. Now we are going to grab our interface here, and the dip switch configuration is already going to be pre-configured for you, so do not touch it. And just in case you accidentally end up changing it, check the tag behind it. Okay, check the tag behind it. This tag says a bunch of other stuff on here, so don't bother. But it's got to be a tag, and it's got to tell you what the dip switch should be. All right, so this was a Pioneer, so this one's 1 and 5 on this hardware. But I mean, the future hardware could change. So if you're watching this video like 2-3 years later, it might have changed. So always check the tag. So on this interface, there's an HDMI. We're going to connect the HDMI and leave this disconnected. And the only other connection we have is this one right here, which is going to be this connector coming from the main harness. Okay, just connects in place like so. And then we're done with the connection on this box. And we're going to grab our NV17 wireless. This is the CarPlay module. All right, so we're going to connect the power cable. All right. And then we are going to connect the two 3.5 millimeter jacks. One is going to be labeled aux. One is going to be labeled microphone. The one that is labeled microphone will connect to mic input. And the other one that's connected to aux is going to connect to line out. Do not connect to external speaker, because that's going to be mono audio and it's going to sound distorted on the car stereo system. So make sure line out, aux, mic input is for mic. And let's also connect our antenna cable here. So this antenna is what's going to give you the reception for your wireless CarPlay. So we're going to connect it to the RF like so. And we are going to route this around the driver's side, because that's typically where the phone is going to be, around the dash. You could, as long as this is away from these two boxes, this and the interface box, you could mount it anywhere close as you can to your phone's location and away from these two boxes. So for the Highlander, you have some choices, but I like to mount it under the steering wheel area, under the under panel. So I'm going to go ahead and just route this down there. Let me make sure I have enough cable. I'm sticking my left hand to catch it, and I'm dropping the antenna through the openings on the left side of the radio. So I was able to grab it. Okay, and now it's here, right here, coming out. Okay, let's let this hang for now. Okay, and then for this customer, we are going to be utilizing the factory USB adapter. So the factory USB converts to the wire CarPlay or as a charger, and our device does charge faster than the factory USB. So we're going to switch it off. For other customers, you may just want to use the USB extension cable that's included with the kit, and if so, you can route this USB all the way down here to the side, and you can make it stick out somewhere there. Or you could drill a hole and make it come out in the center somewhere. But for this customer, we're going to go ahead and use the USB adapter. So in order to do that, let's first locate it. It's going to be the gray plug over here on this radio. It's all the way here on the left. So just press down on the release and unplug, and then it'll plug into place like so. And this will connect to the USB like this. All right. And then last but not least, we are going to connect it like this. All right, sweet. So once everything is connected, we are going to test the unit, clean up the wires, mount it in place, reverse order what we just did, and that's going to conclude our installation. So let me do a quick test here. Okay, so to test this, you want to be in auxiliary. Make sure your volume is on. Make sure your radio is not turned off. I'm going to long press the hang up button here. It'll just switch. Okay, switched over to the screen. That's exactly what we want to see. And then we are going to plug our iPhone. I know it's wireless, but just for this testing purpose, we're just going to connect this to the wired. Okay, so you want to make sure you have the auxiliary selected. Okay, and you're going to long press the hang up button. All right. Let's test our Siri. What's the weather?
It's currently clear.
All right.
61.
The track up, track down. Terrific. All that's working. Let me go out and then we go back in. All right, sweet. So everything looks good. Everything looks to be operating as it should. So I'm gonna go ahead and tidy up the cables and go ahead and tuck everything in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. As long as it fits flush. All right, guys, so we went ahead and finished doing our installation. One part that I forgot to show you what I did for the antenna that was hanging over here, we went ahead and mounted behind this side panel piece here towards the center console. It's very easy to get to. We just went ahead and there was some tension between it, so we just set it on the side right there. That was a good location. So let me show you how our device works. So you want to make sure an auxiliary and make sure your volume is, at a decent amount. And once you do that, you're going to long press the hang up button on your steering wheel control. And then once you press and hold the hang up button, it'll go into the CarPlay Android Auto mode. It'll switch into this 4-icon menu. If you're going to go back to your factory screen, just long press the hang up button. It'll take you back. So let's go back inside CarPlay Android Auto mode. And let's do our first initial connection for wireless. So you got to go ahead, go to your settings, and then go to General, go to CarPlay. And then if you go all the way down, it will show up. This one says Android Auto 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most likely it's going to say something like NV17BT. So go ahead and pair it. Go ahead and allow it. Give it a few seconds and it'll switch over. And here it is. It's wireless CarPlay. And then to navigate through all the apps, you could use your swiping motion to go to set different pages. And you can also long press this to summon Siri. What's the weather?
It's currently clear and 61 degrees.
Or you can also press the call button to also summon Siri as well. Okay, so those are all the different functions. And there's one setting that you want to change on your phone and another setting that you want to confirm. So one thing, we're going to go ahead and change the call audio routing to Bluetooth headset. So basically, we'll go to settings, go to accessibility, go to touch. And we're going to change this call audio routing to Bluetooth headset. Factory default is automatic. And on top of that, go to your Bluetooth setting and then look for this vehicle. So this vehicle is a Toyota Highlander. The name Toyota Highlander will classify correctly on this, but sometimes it'll go to like car accessory or car multimedia. When that happens, you do have to rename it to Toyota Highlander or to your vehicle's name. So how you do that, you go ahead and just click I on the name here. You could change the name. You could just type it, car multimedia, car accessory, delete it, and change it to your car's name, like Toyota Highlander. If you have a RAV4, it's going to be Toyota RAV4, and so forth. This needs to be done in order for your phone calls to route correctly. So I'm going to make a phone call here. Let's see. Call myself to my separate phone. So as you can see here, it went and it automatically routed to a Toyota Highlander. You could use your steering wheel control to hang up. And then let me try the other way of calling this phone. Okay, let me go ahead and make this phone call here. Okay, and then you could pick up the phone call. And as you can see here, it went to Toyota Highlander. You could hang up using the steering wheel control. All right, guys, well, this concludes our demonstration and installation on the Toyota Highlander CarPlay system. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. You could email us at info@bsonicusa.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and like our video, and see you at the next video.